Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Dad's shop. Today we're going to start working on this old stove that was out in the side building. I posted some pictures of it on Coleman Facebook group to see if any of those guys knew what it was, and what we've come up with so far is that it is a Werhle, W-O-H-R-L-E stove. I got online and found some pictures of some that were very similar. They have, you can kind of tell by the way those are designed. A lot of the Werhle ones I looked at had that, and these knobs, starter, fuel. We brought this in, and I'm going to see if we can get it to work. It's been sitting out there for ages on a shelf out in the side building. It's real heavy, cast iron. Got cast iron burners. The burners will lift off, at least the one on this side. The other one's kind of stuck in there. But we're gonna see if we can get it to burn again. It's definitely not been used in years. Everything on it's heavy duty cast iron. We'll go around the back and look at this manifold that goes from one burner over to the other. It's heavy cast iron manifold, almost makes you think of something off of an old car. It's designed to burn gasoline. Takes an external pump to pump it up. It's got a gauge on it here. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it, but it's got PSI and how full it is. Quarter, half, and 3/4 of a tank. So it'll be interesting to see if that works. But the way I'm going to start is I'm just going to put a little bit of air pressure in it, crack the valves open, see if we hear any air moving, or if we're going to have to tear it apart to try to get air to go through the lines. So that's where we'll start. I'll put the camera on the tripod and we'll put a little air in it and see what it does. For adding some air to it, I'm going to use this blowgun with the pressure regulator that we built. I've got it set right now to only 20 pounds. The gauge that's on this tank goes up to 60 psi, but I'm going to start small with about 20 psi in it and see if it holds air pressure, see if we hear anything hissing when we open the valves. I got cracked that little valve open. It's got a check valve in there. I don't even know if the check valve works or not, but we'll find out. Well, I quit hearing the air going in, and the pressure gauge went up to 20 pounds, but then dropped right back off. I'll get the camera around here where you can see better and I'll show you. I don't know if it's leaking around the cap or somewhere else, but I'll try to get the camera in here where you can see the pressure gauge. Comes up, and as soon as I quit blowing air in, it starts to drop again. So I'm going to have to figure out right off the bat where we're losing air pressure at. Okay, we'll see if we can figure out where our air pressure is going. It could be leaking around the cap gasket or something, or well, it could be leaking there too. That might be the problem. Dad put WD-40 on both of those because they were seized up. So he put WD-40 on those valves and on both of the fuel valves for the burners. They're shut, but both of those were open. So let's try it one more time and see if we build any air pressure and if it holds any pressure with those shut. I guess if the knobs were shut, it should have held pressure even if those were open, but I don't know. I did take the cap off and shake it around, and the check valve is moving, so it should work. Oh God, now I broke the blowgun. The newest piece of equipment we're using, and it fell apart right away. Well, it's definitely going somewhere. The air just keeps blowing in there, and it only comes up to 15 psi on the gauge. So we're definitely losing air pressure somewhere out of it. And even when I tighten that cap up right away, it drops back off to nothing. So we're going to have to figure out where our air pressure is going. Okay, I'll put a little bit of penetrating oil right on the cap here. Spray that everywhere. And when I spray it down in here, get a little bit of pressure in there. You can see that it's leaking around right there. You can see all kinds of bubbles coming back out of there. That cap gasket definitely is not holding. I don't know why. It's just 100 years old. You'd think it'd be fine, but I'm gonna have to see if I have a cap gasket that is close enough to that size to replace that gasket. Now that cap gasket doesn't look horrible, but it's 100 years old, probably is leaking. And then I was just looking, and the little weep hole in the side of there that's supposed to let the air pressure out is completely plugged, so I'll clean that out before I put it back together. We're gonna have to replace that cap gasket. So I'm gonna go look around and see what we've got, see if we can find one the right size. Okay, well I didn't have proper size cap gasket, but we do have an O-ring that is close enough that it'll work for now, and then I'll get a proper gasket. But I don't know if you can see down in there, I heated it up with a torch. Yeah, I won't focus on it. Heated it up with a torch and scraped all the old gasket out of there. And then we can put this little O-ring on there, and it'll work for now, at least to try it out and see if we can get the tank to hold a little bit of pressure. So we'll put this cap gasket back together. I also cleaned up the surface right here where the cap tightens down. We'll try putting some air in there now, see if it'll hold any pressure, or if there's more leaks to be found. There's definitely still leaks somewhere. It leaks right back down. Well, I found our leak. I don't know how well it's going to show on the camera. There's a stress crack going across right there. Another one right there. Another one over on this side. So that old tank, you could probably use case well and line the tank, get it to hold pressure, but it's not something that we're actually going to use anyway. I just wanted to bring it in and try to get it going for a video. So it looks like this one will go back out on the shelf, and we'll pick a different stove to bring in here for a project for the next video. This one can just go back out there and live on the shelf. Well, the Werhle stove is back on the shelf out here, tucked away and out of the weather where it won't deteriorate anymore. Maybe sometime in the future I'll decide to get it out and either replace that tank or try to case well that tank so that we can make it go. But for right now, we just put it back away. So maybe for my next project, we'll come over here right next door to that. There's a Sears. Let's see if we can read it. Handy Chef Auto Camp Stove, Sears Roebuck and Company. It's very old with the external pump. Looks like everything's probably there, so maybe I'll bring that one in the shop and we'll try to get that one going on the next video instead. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and come back for more videos.